Scott, we've talked a little bit about waiting periods before, and many people think it's fairly simple. At the end of 90 days or 180 days, whatever elimination period you have, that's the day you get your check. But it's really a little more involved than that, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It's one of the things whenever I start looking at contracts, Brian, is the number one question I think most people should have is, how do I ever get on claim? And most people think, oh, well, you have to be disabled. Well, that's what triggers it. But the reality on a waiting period is what's the language in that waiting period or elimination period. And what I mean by that is when you start to read these things, a lot of times elimination periods will have a trigger that says you have to have the inability to perform the material and substantial duties of your job. And a trigger, let's say a 15% loss of income. Some contracts have a 20% loss of income. Some might be you have to lose a duty of your job. All of those are really pretty good. What you've got to be absolutely careful of, that way too many plans have, specifically association plans have these, it's what's called a total and continuous clause. And they will typically read, if you have the inability to perform the material and substantial duties of your medical specialty, full benefits will be paid. Once you've satisfied your elimination period, which will typically be 90 days or 180 days of total and continuous disability. Well, you have to think, these are written by pretty skilled attorneys. That total and that continuous clause makes a big difference. What that specifically means is you have to be totally disabled, unable to do any aspect of your job that generated revenue. So anything that you billed for. So if you're a surgeon, but you have clinic time where you met a new patient, you have to be unable to do clinic time. And the fact you have to be continuously disabled is a real issue too. Because what that means is, let's say you have a 90-day waiting period, or God forbid, a 180-day waiting period. If you make it 85 days and went back to work for 2 hours and decided, I just can't do this, you restart that waiting period. Two good examples that I try to get people to think about is if you get injured, let's say that you're in an auto accident, you shattered a leg, and you have some pads, and going through physical therapy. And you're going to work part-time, but you're still in physical therapy. You're not totally disabled. You will never then qualify to start receiving benefits on a contract that has it in there. That's a big issue. Same as if you're, let's say, seeking cancer treatment. Chemo on Monday, it's a bad day, really bad day. Tuesday's really rough too. Wednesday, feeling a little better, but probably not quite ready to get back to work. Thursday, you might be able to. Friday, you probably could. But it wasn't continuous, it wasn't total, you're not on claim. Always get a contract that has a 15 or 20% loss of income to trigger benefits. And make sure those contracts don't have that total and continuous clause. Because it'll prevent 40 to 50% of all claim potentials.
It's really like a trap almost.
Exactly.